documentary we are going to use the kind of sentences: assertive and declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, exclamatory sentences, optative sentences. Cybercrime. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime, also called computer crime, the use of the computer as an instrument to further illegal ends such as committing fraud, trafficking in child pornography and intellectual property, stealing identities or violating privacy. Cybercrime, especially through the internet, has grown in importance. The computer has become central to commerce, entertainment, and government. Because of early and widespread adoption of computers and the internet in the United States, most of the earliest victims and the villains of cybercrime were Americans. By the 21st century, the highly will remain anywhere in the world that have not been touched by cybercrime of one sort or another. Defining cybercrime. New technologies create new criminal opportunities, but few new types of crime. What distinguishes cybercrime from traditional criminal activity? Obviously, one difference is the use of the digital computer, but technologies alone is insufficient for any distinction that might exist between different realms of the criminal activity. Criminals do not need a computer to commit fraud. Traffic in child pornography and intellectual property, steal an identity, or violate someone's privacy. All those activities existed before cybercrimes became ubiquitous. Cybercrime, especially involving the internet, represents an extension of existing criminal behavior alongside some now illegal activities. Most cybercrime is an attack on information about individual corporations or governments. Although the attack do not take place on the physical body, they do take place on personal or corporate virtual body, which is a set of information attributes that define people and institutions on the internet. In other words, in the digital age, our virtual identities are an essential element of everyday life. We are a bundle of number and identifiers in multiple computer databases owned by the governments and corporations. Cybercrime highlights the centrality of networked computers in our lives, as well as fragility of such seemingly solid facts as individual identity. An important aspect of cybercrime is its non-local character. Actions can occur in jurisdictions separate by vast distances. This poses several problems for law enforcement, since previously local or even national crimes now require international cooperation. For example, if a person accesses child pornography located on a computer in a country that doesn't ban child pornography, is that individual committing a crime in a nation where such materials are illegal? Where exactly does cybercrime take place? Cybercrime is simply a richer version of the space where a telephone conversation takes place, somewhere between the two people having the conversation. As a planet-spanning network, the internet offers criminals multiple hiding places in the real world as well as in the internet itself. However, just an individual walking on the conversation. As a planet-spanning network, the network offers criminals multiple hiding places in a real world as well as in the network itself. However, just as individual walking on the ground level mark that a skilled trackers can follow. Cybercriminals leave clues as to their identity and location, despite their best efforts to cover their tracks. In order to follow such clues across national boundaries, the international cybercrime treaties must be ratified. In 1996, the Council of Europe, together with government representatives from the United States, Canada, and Japan, drafted a preliminary international treaty covering computer crime around the world. Civil libertarian groups immediately protested provisions in the treaty requiring internet service providers to store information to their customers' transactions and to turn this information over on demand. Work on the treaty proceeded nevertheless, and on November 23, 2001, the Council of Europe Convention on Cybercrime was signed by 30 states. The convention came into effect in 2004. Additional protocols covering terrorist activities and racist and xenophobic cybercrimes were proposed in 2002 and came into effect in 2006. In addition, various national laws such as USA Patriot Act of 2001 have expanded law enforcement power to monitor and protect computer network. Types of cybercrime. There are many types of cybercrime. We are going to discuss today some of them. Identity theft and invasion of privacy. Cybercrime affect both a virtual and a real body, but the effect upon each are different. This phenomenon is clearest in the case of identity theft. In United States, for example, individuals do not have an official identity card, but social security number that has long served as a de facto identification number. Taxes are collected on the basis of each citizen's social security number, and many private institutions use this number to keep tracks to their employees, students, and patients. Access to an individual's social security number affords the opportunity to gather all documents related to the patient's citizenship, that is, to steal his identity. Even stolen credit card information can be used to reconstruct an individual identity. When criminals steal firms' credit card records, they produce two distinct effects. First, they make off with digital information and individuals that is useful in many ways. For example, they might use credit card information to run up huge bills, forcing the credit card firms to suffer large losses, or they might sell the information to others who can use it in similar fashion. Second, they might use individual credit card names and number to create new identities for other criminals. For example, a criminal might contact the issuing bank of a stolen credit card and change the mailing address on the account. Next, the criminal may get a passport or driver license with his own picture, but with the victim name. With a driver license, the criminal can easily acquire a new social security card. It is then possible to open bank accounts and to receive loan, all with the victim's credit record and background. The original card holder might remain unaware of this until the theft is so great that the bank contacts the account holder. Only then does the identity theft become visible. Although identity theft takes place in many countries, researchers and law enforcement officials are plagued by lack of information and statistics about the crime worldwide. Cybercrime is clearly, however, an international problem.
Internet fraud schemes to defraud consumer about the internet. Among the most famous is the Nigerian or 419 scheme. That number is a reference to the section of Nigerian law that schemes violates. Although this con has been used with both fax and traditional mail, it has been given new life by the internet. In the scheme, an individual receives an email asserting that the sender requires help in transferring a large sum of money out of Nigeria or another distant country. Usually the money is in the form of an asset that is going to be sold, or such as oil, or a large amount of cash that requires laundering to conceal its source. The variations are endless, and the new specifics are constantly being developed. The message asks the recipient to cover some cost of the moving funds out of the country.
Child pornography. With the advent of almost every new media technology, pornography has been its killer app, or the application that drove early development of technical innovations in search of profit. The internet was no exception, but there is a criminal element to this business bonanza, child pornography, which is unrelated to this lucrative business or legal adult-oriented pornography. The possession of child pornography, defined here as image of children under age 18 engaged in sexual behavior, is illegal in United States, the European Union, and many other countries, but it remains a problem that has no easy solution. The problem is compounded by the ability of kiddie porn websites to disseminate their material from locations such as state of the former Soviet Union as well as Southeast Asia that lacks cybercrime law. Some law enforcement organizations believe that child pornography represents a $3 billion a year industry, that more than 10,000 internet locations provide access. Hacking. While breaching privacy to detect cybercrime works well when crimes involve the theft and misuse of information, ranging from credit card number and personal data to file sharing of various commodities, music, video, or child pornography. But of crimes that attempt to wreak havoc on the workings of very machines that make up the network. The story of hacking actually goes back to 1950s when a group of hacks, short for fun freaks, began to hijack portions of the world's telephone network, making unauthorized long-distance calls and setting up special party lines for fellow perhacks. With the proliferation of computer bulletin board systems in the late 1970s, the informal perhacking culture began to coalesce into quasi-organized groups of individuals who graduated from the telephone network to hacking corporate and government computer network systems. One of the largest known cases of the computer hacking was discovered in March 2009. It involved government and private computers in at least 103 countries. The worldwide spy network known as GhostNet was discovered by researchers at the University of Toronto who had been asked by representatives of the Dalai Lama to investigate the exiled Tibetan leaders' computers for possible malware. In addition to finding out that the Dalai Lama's computers were compromised, the researchers discovered the GhostNet has infiltrated more than 1,000 computers around the world. The highest concentration of compromised systems were within embassies and foreign affairs bureaus of South Asian and Southeast Asian countries. Reportedly, the computers were infected by users who opened email attachments or clicked on web page links. Once infected with GhostNet malware, the computer began phishing for files throughout the local network, even turning on the camera and video recording devices for remote monitoring. 3 control servers that ran the malware were located in Yan'an, Guangdong, in Sichuan province in China, and 4th server was located in California.
Applications have developed, more money is required. Over time, the victims can lose thousands of dollars. That is utterly unrecoverable. In 2002, the newly formed U.S. Intercrime Complaint Center (IC3) reported that more than $54 million had been lost through a variety of fraud schemes. This represented a threefold increase over estimated losses of $17 million in 2001. The annual losses grew subsequent years, reaching $125 million in 2003, about $200 million in 2006, and close to $250 million in 2008, and over $1 billion in 2015 in the United States. The largest source of fraud is what IC3 calls non-payment, non-delivery, in which goods service either delivered but not paid for what not delivered. Unlikely identity theft, where the theft occurred without the victim knowledge.